Bob,
What?
is this the best war game you've played?
It is pretty damn.
Same.
Yeah.
Hey guys, I'm Tim,
Bob.
and this is the Board Game Rundown, and today we are doing a paid preview for Song for War. We got paid to preview this game, but also we begged these people to let us preview this game.
We did. We saw it a couple years ago at Origins, and I fell in love with it. I thought it was super cool. We found them again the following year, and I got to actually do a playthrough of the North Africa scenario.
Yes.
And yeah, I went after them because I was like, this is really good.
So in this, is there the North Africa scenario?
Yeah, so this is two boards put together. On the flip side, you have the North Africa version and you have the Italy version, and they both have different mechanisms that operate throughout the game with like supply in Africa and a lot of the hidden deployment stuff in Italy.
And then you put these maps together, and now you've got two versions of the Mediterranean theater in which you can play. Where a longer game where you start at 1941, which is essentially going to give you 2 more turns, but the map setup is going to be different.
1942.
Oh, 42.
Yeah.
And then
43.
And then 43. But you get 2 turns? I was just going by years. But
yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah.
But anyways.
I see.
Yeah. So anyways, you can start basically at an earlier stage.
Right, stage 1.
The map will be different. The game will take longer because you're going to play through 2 more turns. Or you can start in 1943 and you can do just that. Basically, the second half, you're going to play 4 rounds.
Yeah.
Woo. But man, those rounds are so epic. They're so epic.
Yeah. And 4 hours doesn't sound like a lot, but when you consider that each round has 6, movement steps for each person, and each movement step has, up to 7 different battle steps you might be going through.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So Song for War, if you couldn't guess, this is an area control World War II theme game. It is awesome because I haven't played anything like this one. This does so many cool things. They have great player rates. Again, this is a prototype, but I don't know why they would go too far away from these player rates.
Yeah, this will be your lifeblood playing the game.
Yes, you are going to live with those and love them. Yeah, and that's true because they're going to get heavy bombed.
Yeah.
So yeah, on your turn, you are going to, depending on what year it is, and the map has either the Axis or the Allied forces going first. And you're going to move, right? You're going to move your planes and your subs first, and then you're going to move your planes and your destroyers and your troop transports. And that thematically is because the destroyers can escort the troop transports, which will allow them to move further.
Right. They move faster than all those other ships.
Right. Also true.
Which is why the planes get to move more often, because they move faster.
Right. And so then in round 3, you're going to be able to, or phase 3 of the movement.
Yep. Movement step 3.
It's all the boats.
All the boats.
And if you have a hidden fleet, you can move it by adjusting the dial, or you can also reveal it and then ruin somebody's day, which is awesome. And then 4 is 1 round of basically ground units. And then round 5 is tanks, land transports, and soldiers, the infantry. And then 6, you got to land all your planes in friendly airfields or aircraft carriers, etc. Anytime during these movement steps, if you move into an area with an opposing unit, you can choose to start a battle. They give you these markers. You throw a marker down.
I think if you move into it, you start it.
You start a battle. Okay.
If you move into it.
Oh yeah.
Unless you have the sub.
But
the sub is sneaky.
But if you're already there, you don't. There's some minutia in there. You don't have to always start a battle, but that's different things are happening. Whether you're going to activate an area, but yeah, you're going to move in. You're going to mark that somebody moved in, and now we're going to get ready to fight. Then once we have done all of that and we've marked where all the battles are going to be, then you're going to go through and just decide in what order. The attacker, I guess, can decide in what
picks
order.
What battle they want to do first.
And they resolve. And then, you go down. The anti-aircraft guns go first, then the fighters, and then the light bombers and heavy bombers. Then the subs and destroyers. Then basically all the other boats and artillery. And then you've got your tanks and your infantry. And then if you were
landing troops
either via air or sea, then they land at the end. So they don't actually start a battle.
Right.
They just are invading.
Unloading.
And that's kind of the game. This has an awesome point tracking system here. So the different territories that are worth victory points have a size, and that will come out and basically take up that much space on the board for the victory points. So then you also have your indicators of like what you need to win on one side, and on the other side, I think they've got them inversed in this prototype. Because why would it instant win at 44 if I need to get a 48.5?
Oh, how?
Right? Because it's inverse over there.
Well, that's 55 and 62. So I think it depends on like 50.5 and 62. So the allies or the Axis need to take control of more territories to kick the ally.
Yeah, but your yellow is first.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
That's what I'm
like
saying.
The color of it.
I think that those are transposed.
Sure.
Doesn't matter.
Prototype.
Because what's going to happen is basically if I get up to 44, I have to hold that through the whole round. I have to have that territory by the time we move this marker.
Right, all through all the movements.
And it is
Not
very
easy.
difficult
Yeah,
to do.
not easy.
Very difficult to do. We filmed a playthrough, and Bob probably had the victory 3 times
Yeah.
because of points, but then couldn't hold the
Couldn't hold
territory. But he did win because I was not able to do enough by the end.
Yeah.
Now the board was pretty bare by the end.
Yes.
It was a bloody battle.
Yeah.
And that is just the thing that I absolutely love about this game. But Bob, I guess I'll let you talk about it first. Give us some of your thoughts on it.
Like I said, this game was fantastic. When I saw it, I fell in love with it. One, these player aids are great. They have all the units, they have their armor types, how much they move, what die of what color they roll, what phases they can attack in, and what types of units they can attack. It has all their special abilities. On the backside, it has a list of a breakdown of what all the special abilities are, plus all the different setups you can have. This is basically 4 different games in one box, which is really cool. There's a breakdown of the casualty hits, because as you have different armor ratings and like different types of weaponry, you do more damage. So that weapon, say a tank does a gray hit, that will do a lot more damage to infantry units than it would to like another tank. Like, yes, it might take out 1 tank, but it could take out 2 dudes because it's just a stronger hit. And all that's laid out for you really concisely on this player aid. Something else really smart they do is these wooden pieces are really nice. I hope they keep something very similar to this. Maybe go with plastic, it's fine, however they decide, but a very similar style I hope they keep is they have the shadow of the unit that's on there, but then they also have a letter code, so it just squashes any kind of like, you always know what you're looking at, you know?
Yes.
So it's like, oh, HB, that's the heavy bomber. So there's no questions at all. That's really cool. They have this nice component trays that help you sort all that stuff out. So that is super cool. And something that we didn't really do, Tim, during our playthrough that was a little unfortunate we should have tried is...
Oh, you know what? There was a bunch of times I thought about dropping mines.
Yeah, I should have done it, because you can like...
you should have mined that.
I should have mined it,
gosh.
or you can do the basically like a front line. So anybody moving in, you get like a free attack against them if they try to cross your lines.
Because in the other game we played, you guys had that front line up there.
But you guys never really made it up there.
No, we didn't bother.
And you took this so quickly that I couldn't get it safe. But yeah, you can place mines in the sea, you can put mines in territories, and like I said, you can like also like reinforce the border, right? So anybody trying to move in is going to get attacked.
I should have done that too.
Oh, and so there are special B-17 tokens. We just said, all my B-17s are bombers, but there's special tokens.
Yeah, I could have done that.
Could have done that.
I just knew my heavy bombers were amazing.
Yeah, they were.
They were so mean.
They were so mean. The heavy bombers are so mean. And then like some of the crazy things that are going on, like the anti-aircraft guns. Like, so if you get a 12 with that, it's a precision hit. You get to pick what thing you're shooting. Tim kept shooting my heavy bomber.
Every time Bob would roll in with units that mattered.
Yeah.
Right, where it wasn't like, oh, I've just got all of the same, so who cares?
Right.
Every time, 12.
And you're like, get rid of that one. It's
oh my gosh.
That was rough.
It was crazy.
But then like while the board, like it looks like there's a lot of spaces on there, there's a lot of the units have so much movement that you get very dynamic combat going on. Like you have those air transports that can pick guys up and take them 7 spaces across the board. So you might think someplace is safe, and all of a sudden here comes a bunch of guys in Gibraltar, and you're like,
that happened.
And that was super satisfying, so like that feels really good when you're able to sneak around different places and get into, attack locations that you thought were safe. And that's a good time. There's a lot of other unique things in this game where there's like supply lines, and you can kind of tell in the shadows of the board, but like the mainland is helping to supply the battle going in the front here. And if you've got ships blocking that, and that's going to reduce the amount of units that you can produce in other areas. And so while there's a lot going on, a lot of it just makes sense. And it's just, I love how like you're saying, the movement steps are broken down to where the faster units are moving more often. Like Tim upgraded his
my Spitfires,
his fighters to the Spitfires, and that allowed them to move an extra time because they move faster now.
Right.
You know, I upgraded my subs, and they got to shoot more often because they were upgraded submarines, and they need Panzer tanks.
I don't have Spitfire tokens. Sorry.
It's okay. I'm not.
Like those B-17.
You do have the upgraded aircraft carriers, though. Isn't that what that is that you have?
It might have been.
Yeah.
No, I didn't use them.
Slacker.
No, that's battle class destroyer. That's different.
You didn't unlock that one. But yeah, and so
no, I unlocked a battle class.
Oh, okay.
That's not a battle class.
One of the other super cool things I really enjoy about this game is the hidden fleets. I love hidden movement. If you watch this channel at all, you know I love games that have hidden movement in it. And you get to you have a little box here where you have hidden fleet, and you get to keep putting units in there up to a certain amount. Otherwise, it becomes so big it can't say hidden. And you can move that each turn during your movement phase 3. You can move it equal to up to the speed of your slowest ship. And you're moving them around, and anytime you want, you can flip it over, show where it's at, and then put all those units out in that spot. You're like, surprise! And it happened really soon because you moved up to my area and listened during the game. And I was like, well, I guess round 1, here it is. But I really enjoy that. And you can do more too. Like as you're building ships, you don't necessarily have to build them in a certain spot. As long as there's some place that's not anything adjacent to it, you can create a hidden fleet there. You set your dial, you set it upside down so they don't know where it's at, and that's just a really cool mechanism to add to a game like this.
There's so many things.
There's so many. There's so much.
This game I really honestly believe that this game is so intuitive and the rules are broken down really well on these player aids that it's deceptively easy to learn, right? You're like, oh, this is going to be really easy to learn. And the game takes a while. This is what we would call like an appointment game.
Right.
Don't be the jerk that rolls into game night and be like, oh,
by the way,
Song for War.
6 hours. Here we go.
But no, like everybody just be ready, order some food in.
And while this one takes 6 hours, we played the North Africa one in like 2.5, 3 hours.
Sure.
So that's a reasonable amount of
and we played the shortened version of this in 4 hours.
Right. So and that's not bad. Like, I mean, I played Twilight Imperium games that take 6, 8 hours.
Yeah,
that's an appointment type of thing. You would set up an appointment, bring people over to play this, or if you're fortunate enough, like I do, I have like a separate game room.
You can leave it all set up.
I can leave it all set up. Come over, take a few turns, close the door, keep the cat out.
Right.
Come back later. We'll play a couple more rounds.
I don't know. I may need the cat to help me.
Yeah, right. You don't need that battleship. Get out of here.
That one's gone. They're not on the map. That artillery drowned.
Yes.
I don't know what happened. Another thing though that really adds to the replayability of this is the national support cards.
Yes.
So each nation has their own national support cards. So in there's going to be some things that are similar, like some resupply upgrades, some counterintelligence kind of stuff.
Yep.
But then also because this game really does a nice job of being historically accurate, you're going to be able to develop some unique units
that
to your nation,
the war,
right?
Yeah,
like Panzer tanks. The B-17s,
B-17s,
yeah, Ranger class carriers, the Spitfires, just all kinds of really cool stuff. And this game has so much to offer. It's so satisfying. I couldn't believe how much I loved this game. I love these kind of games. And this one though, like this beats Twilight Imperium for me because Twilight Imperium can drag at times where there's some downtime and you're just like,
yeah, there's like no downtime in this game.
No, because
you're constantly being engaged with battle.
The battles are happening. And again, there's so many times where it's like you're never really out of it.
Right. I was very depleted at one point in time, and then all of a sudden I had a couple of big swings come back my way where I destroyed everything he had up here. And yeah, it was.
And we had another game where it was kind of the other way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I made this huge swing and I was pushed up past the points I needed, and Bob was able to counterpunch. And in a Twilight Imperium, you don't get that.
Right.
You just don't get that experience. And Axis and Allies, you don't get that.
Yeah, it's a little more difficult, but yeah, if you can, it's just more difficult.
Yeah. It's a little more grinding.
Sure.
Where this does not feel grinding. This feels dynamic and like action packed.
Dynamic.
And it's just like, you did what? How did you do this?
Yeah.
And
how could that transport make that?
Seriously,
1, 2, 3, 4.
Seriously.
Yeah.
God, it's so good. And what was funny is I had a transport over here and I had one over here. I had 3 over here. And you're like, I didn't even know that one was there, which I get.
The other ones can make it too.
But it's like, it didn't matter because they can make it. And then again, that's to Bob's point earlier. where it looks like there's so many spaces, but this map is small.
It's smaller than it looks.
It's so small. It's like not big enough. I needed way more space. But yeah, this is just very cool. Super fun. I'm giddy with how much fun this game is. I lost just like the game, if you watch our
spoilers,
our full playthrough. But this game was so much fun, and there was just crazy things happening that it doesn't matter because this game was wild. It just every time we put this on the table, like crazy stuff has happened. I have yet to see a boring version of this.
Yeah,
and I doubt that will happen.
Right.
I think it does reward aggression and taking some big swings.
Taking those swings.
But I don't care. It's fun.
He did say too, talking to the designer, it sort of punishes turtling. Because if you just keep all your units kind of back and don't do anything with them, well, I'm over here taking up all these territories.
Yeah.
You've got to push out there and take territories.
You've got to do stuff.
Yep.
And I love it. I love it so much. So anyways, this is a blast. If you like war games and you want sort of a medium weight one, like
medium rules overhead,
but it's going to take a while.
So
complexity wise, medium weight.
Correct.
Right. Yeah. But it's not going to be the overbearing. Oh, no, I shouldn't say overbearing. It's not going to have that weight of like a war room.
Oh yeah, that one's a bit more complicated. If I was doing the 5-point scale that's in BG, I would probably rate war room closer to a 4, and this one's probably maybe a 3.5.
Yeah, I guess I would have said a 3, but yeah, I get a 3.5.
Yeah. You could play it at a 3 and not do a lot of like the mines and things like that. But a lot of the other nuances and minutia that we didn't really get into.
That's a very fair
push
point.
It to a 3.
And if you go to Italy and you've got like the hidden units, that definitely adds.
Can push it a little bit more.
That adds another layer. So it's definitely going to be more complex than an Axis and Allies.
That's always is more straightforward. I feel because it's like but there's not as many different unit types.
I know it's like
and it's a little more difficult to get the text in Axis. It's better now, but it is a little more difficult. And this you automatically get 2 of these national support tokens.
Right.
You're drawing 2 cards. You're getting to choose one if you want, or you can save them up, and buy something that's more expensive later on. So you automatically get them as opposed to having to pay for them.
Yeah,
and roll to maybe get one.
This is very quickly becoming one of my favorite territory control games.
Yeah.
I mean, this is wild.
Nice.
This game is wild. And again, the asymmetric, because the game starts like technically symmetric, like your units all do the same things, but then after the first phase, after that first round,
now
all bets are off.
Yeah, now my troops are upgraded. Now my planes can go
like,
further.
Oh my gosh, they do what? Why?
Oh, look, my artillery can shoot 3 now, Tim.
Yeah, like don't worry, I'm gonna still roll 12s.
Yeah,
go to hell.
Yeah.
But anyways, really enjoyed this. Really glad we had the opportunity to play it, get to have it with us. We got to send it off to the next lucky content creator, but that's why we need this to fund so that we can get a copy of this bad boy. But yeah, that is kind of a very, that's us just gushing about the game.
Yeah.
We had a really good time. You will be able to find a how to play, and you can watch if you want the 4 hours. Well, it may not be 4 hours after editing.
Yeah, we have a bathroom break in there. We'll cut that out.
Hopefully.
Yeah. But, Tim, how come you didn't sound like you washed your hands at all?
Hey, hush him up. I unplugged my mic when I went to the bathroom. But yeah, if any of this sounds interesting, you should check it out. Really give it a look. Feel free to reach out to us with any questions. We'll do our best to answer them. We will. Got a pretty good understanding of the game. I mean, even to sit down and play it again, it was like a 5-minute refresher.
Yeah.
And for a game of this level, not bad.
Right.
Not bad. And then a few times where we reference the rules with maybe a few gray areas, but for the most part, the game is very intuitive.
Yep.
So hopefully you found this interesting and helpful. We do have a Patreon if you'd like to support us there. We do offer videos early and a
learning games typically.
Yeah. We will show you sort of like raw versions of us playing a game. If we film a playthrough, we will put a raw version of that up.
Yep.
So it'll be lightly edited, but you're going to see us drinking pop and munching on snacks and
maybe swearing a little bit.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Practicing our French.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt. But anyways, this has been A Song for War, and for the Board Game Rundown, I've been Tim.
Bob.
Thanks for watching.